All righty, let's talk about that first half here. Your Indiana Hoosiers currently in the lead 44-29 over Jacksonville. 1 second here, let me pause that. Okay. So, another game where Indiana didn't get off to the best of starts. Jacksonville scored the first 4 points of the game. I thought Indiana's defense was a little bit sluggish. One of Archie's big keys was defending ball screens, and I didn't think Indiana did a very good job of defending ball screens early. But the difference was, in this game and some other games, is that I thought Juwan Morgan really came out with the mindset of being aggressive, and clearly Indiana had a strategy, a game plan of getting the ball into him. And it wasn't just offensively, defensively as well. He did a really nice job of defending the paint, covering up for some mistakes without fouling. He had a couple of block shots early in the game that were really, really helpful. And then, of course, on the other end, his passing has been great all half, and some of the early buckets and early assists that he had helped to kind of get Indiana going, where we've kind of seen the offense struggle some games. It didn't the last game. They scored 19 points before the first TV timeout. But I just thought overall Juwan's mentality starting this game helped kind of get Indiana off to a good start, where otherwise things were a little bit shaky. Like, for example, I thought Devontae Green was really, really shaky early. Obviously, he had that great shooting night against Central Arkansas. Felt like he forced some shots early, was really struggling to kind of get in the flow. I thought he was much better late, and not just because of that nice final possession and that absolutely incredible pass that he made to Justin Smith, but it was some of the more subtle things. The fact that he hustled after that rebound to get the ball, to make the pass to Justin Smith. Early in the game, there was a play where he drove into the lane, didn't get a foul call, and didn't hustle back on defense. He kind of got himself more engaged and stopped taking as many wild shots and really looked to get the ball to Juwan and get the ball inside. So I was impressed with Devontae being able to kind of improve inside of the half, and despite coming out and not being in that rhythm, got himself going. He finished the half with 7 points, 3 assists, and only had the 1 turnover. So I thought that was really good to see. Obviously, Morgan's numbers are just outstanding. 8 points, 5 assists, 7 boards, 3 blocks, 2 steals. And look, something that we saw in that first half, and we know this, but, it's so obvious. When this team plays through Juwan, or when the guards really, if the guards are going to dribble, when they really attack the paint, when they really attack the basket, we're pretty good offensively. Because, we'll get open threes that way. You look at the threes that Al Durham has made, he's 2 for 2. They came on, inside out, getting it into Juwan, let the defense collapse, get the ball out. We are not good when we take threes or long twos off the dribble, and we saw it too much. Romeo took one of them, Devontae took a few of them, Demezy Anderson took one of them. We do not have the kind of shot makers, outside of Romeo sometimes, when he gets hot, who can just settle for shots like that and make them. That's just not, those are wasted possessions. They're almost like turnovers. But when we really commit to doing what we're good at doing, especially against a team like Jacksonville, but even against better teams, the offense looks so much better and it really hums. So that was, laid bare, made evidently clear from this half, because every possession where we did that and went inside or drove with a purpose to the basket, good things happened. And when we didn't do that, bad things happened, and, it just looked like, like we didn't really know what we were doing offensively. So, all in all, I think that was a fine first half by Indiana. You did what you needed to do. You're up by 15 at halftime against a team that you've clearly overmatched. And Jacksonville is not a team that's going to make a lot of threes. So, the chances of them, coming back and making this any type of game obviously are slim. So, for Indiana, I think what you want to do, the keys for Archie coming into this game, he really wanted to work on getting back in transition from a defensive standpoint. Indiana has done a good job of that most of the time. There have been a couple transition possessions that weren't very good, where the communication wasn't very good. But in this second half, they're going to keep running their ball screen actions. That. So we really want to work on, being solid in those actions. And I think one of the things that Archie was really looking for that he talked with Fish is the guy on the ball, can you fight through quicker so that, the other man who's defending the screener doesn't have to hedge as much or hedge as hard? Because we're seeing some of that where, Devontae or Al, aren't close enough on the man, don't fight through the screen enough. And the guy who's defending the screener has to hedge a little bit more, and it kind of puts everybody else in rotation when that happens. And I thought Indiana did a better job of that as the half went on. And then, offensively, as Archie talked about with Fish, being patient, take your time, take advantage of the size inside. That's that's the key offensively here. And Indiana has been a team that's played at a really fast pace so far this season offensively. But I think, as I said, when we do that, when we're not working it inside, when we're just settling for those long twos, things just don't work as good. So, obviously we hope that now in the second half we'll get a chance. Juwan's obviously going to have to play 10, 12, 13 minutes in this half, and we don't have that many guards, so all the guards are going to have to stay out there. But we certainly hope that this game, isn't competitive, gets out to a 25, 30-point deficit, and we're able to get Clifton, get Jake in there, get those guys some time. But just want to keep the good habits going. I thought we saw some good things there in that half, and let's do more of that and have a nice, successful second half. Jacksonville in that first half, 0.853 points per possession. I'd actually like to see that number go down even more. And if Indiana can tighten those things up and not give up as many offensive rebounds, they give up 6 offensive rebounds to Jacksonville. So that's another issue that they could really look to clean up. Turnover-wise, Indiana has 5. 2 of those are Al Durham's, and those were just terrible passes. Al, sometimes I think sees things that aren't there, and, we'll try and kind of float a pass over and create something that's not really there. Outside of that, I think for the most part, Indiana's taking care of the ball pretty well. So hopefully that's something that continues, because now 2 out of the last 3 games, Indiana's been pretty good from turnovers. This would make 3 out of the last 4 games if we can continue that, and that would obviously be something nice to carry into the Christmas break. So thank you for joining me here on the Halftime Report. Andy and I will be here for the postgame show. We hope that you will join us as we break down this IU-Jacksonville game, our last show for a few days. So we hope you'll be there with us. We will talk to you after the game on the postgame show. Thanks, everybody.